Hey everybody, and welcome back to Let's Examine Resident Evil 5. This is episode 4. You all know who you are, and my friends, family, and personal groomer know me as David. When last we left our heroes, Chris and Sheva, they had just battled their way through an obtuse underground mine segment, through a industrial, I don't know what you'd call it, aggregate site, fought in a horrible portmanteau monster that I dubbed Bat Bug, and suffered through an obligatory turret sequence as they fought another retread from Resident Evil 4. And what I didn't show you was that after all that was done, I went back to play the first chapter through a couple times on amateur level, easy setting basically, to stock up on some ammo. So you can see here that we've got more ammunition, more healing items, and I upgraded the weapons a little bit. I was debating whether or not to show that to you, the viewers, but I thought that would be a little boring. Although, on the other hand, maybe it would have been a good idea, because that's sort of to give the full experience of what it means to play this game, going back, replaying all the chapters. So, when we last left off, Chris and Sheva had commandeered a hydrofoil. I think that's the correct name for this.
What happened to your father?
And we're heading deeper into Kajuju. And now it's time for his backstory. Wesker is a character who appeared in the very first Resident Evil game as the captain of the STARS team. Turns out he had been working for the Evil Umbrella Corporation.
I met him again after the Raccoon
Just wait a
City
couple
incident on
seconds.
Rockford Island. Since then, we've been trying to track
Rockford
him down.
Island was
A few years
the
ago, we
event,
got a tip from a
or known as the
reliable
events of
source.
Resident Evil Code
The
Veronica.
whereabouts of Umbrella's founder, Oswell E. Spencer. So we paid him a visit.
The
over
woman
the
there on the right,
years
that's
at
Jill
Western.
Valentine, Chris's partner, former partner, who, up to his knowledge, in the events of, at the time of Resident Evil 5, which would be 2009 in the series, he has passed away. Wesker. At the end of the original Resident Evil, Wesker injected himself with a serum to give himself Neo-like superpowers. Sorry, he injected himself with the virus to give him Neo-like superpowers. Once again, sort of affirming my belief that the translator, the Capcom's translator, instead of using mutagen, used the term virus. Because all viruses in Resident Evil series, they're basically just what you would call mutagens in other fictional universes. Part of Wesker's ability is that basically he can process information faster than a bullet. He probably, that means he can probably move, like as fast as the Flash. So he probably has to eat a lot. Though I guess whoa, was that Chris's blood that was smeared there on the table? Yes. And now you die. Wesker's outfit is, very Darth Vader with the long flowing logo. Yes, let's never have another Resident Evil sequel. To the window. Down, down, down they go. Not to sort of stereotype gender roles, but why didn't Chris throw himself out of the window with Wesker?
You two were close.
We were partners.
Jeez, Sheva.
What about you? Why'd you join the BSAA?
My parents were involved in an
And here's the
accident
mythical
before
cutscene in
they
which Sheva's full character arc is revealed. Oh. Yep, so it looks like I was quickly shut back to the desktop here.
I only found out later
And
to cover up
it looks like we completely missed it.
weapons for terrorists.
That was bad. So basically what happens
Using
is,
Africa as a
what happened in
test
game,
bed for experiments.
Umbrella
Their weapons were
was
responsible
using
for the deaths of my parents.
parts of
And
Africa as
someone
test
has to
weapons
pay
for
for that.
experiments. They weren't using, Botswana or, Tunisia. No, they were
There's only
using
so much one
Africa.
person can do. Even a superhero like you, Chris.
I'm no superhero. But together, we can end this.
Then let's make a stand.
Yeah, I
for
think
our
this is
fallen
kind of
brothers.
bland dialogue. Well, Sheva's lips move a lot when she talks. This is just kind of bland, determined, let's finish this type dialogue, even though this is only about halfway through the game. It would be a bit more, I don't know, meaningful if it was later on, I think. And now we enter the sort of middle third of the game. So I believe I said this at the end of the first video after you fought the. Oh yeah, this is just me fooling around with the control scheme a bit. Because when I got kicked back to the desktop, it defaulted to a mouse and keyboard control. So here I am, just trying to figure out how to switch back to a gamepad control scheme. Oh, and I restarted the game. Control scheme changed to a controller. I may have been thinking at the time when I was doing that I would just cut out that little error there. But I didn't. How unprofessional of me. Although no one's actually watching these videos, so, you know, what do I care? That's right. If you're listening, I don't care about your opinion. I actually do, but... Oh, is there just a little tick down the sound? Okay, back. There we go, start back up. Okay, and let's head back in. Yeah, that was kind of annoying. But again, you know, this is part of the experience of playing this game on the computer. Every now and then, something like this can happen. Yeah, so I think I said at the end of the first video, that's sort of where the game, you know, this game sort of moves outside of being horror-y. And this is where, you know, beginning with this part of the game is where it sort of, I think it loses all semblance of occurring in reality. Oh, and this is a classic Resident Evil thing. That actually, I'm surprised, wasn't really prominent up until then. Especially in the older games. You constantly be wandering around deserted areas, finding journal entries, and looking at people's comments on objects, and as we just saw there. So yes, so what we have to do now is, if you saw just a few seconds ago that I picked up, you can see it in the upper left corner there, part of a little crest. And there's a door that's locked there that we need 4 parts of the crest in order to get through. And now we're sort of in this, I wouldn't exactly call this open world, but a bit more open sandbox type. We're in this little boat, and you can drive around the area. This, you see in the top right corner, there's this map of a big area. And right now there's 3 areas that you can go to where you can find more crests. But what I'm doing here is I'm gonna quickly, because I know there's some treasures like right in front of us in that tree. I'm trying to get the boat into the right position so Shev's AI will crouch down and pick that up. So I'm gonna quickly run around this area, pick up some treasures, pick up some collectibles, and then I'm gonna do the business of picking up the crests. It doesn't really matter what order you get them in. The order that I do is just the one I prefer because it's sort of, I think it's the fastest, and lets me deal with the harder parts later. But again, it's not exactly open world, but it's very, you know, not non-linear, so you're free to, yeah, use the knife to. When have you ever seen someone use a knife to cut open a vase? Is it that he's cutting it open, or is he just hitting with the I think it's just he's hitting with the blade. Completely, it looks like someone can use it. You know, he's just breaking the vase. You know, that just said it looks like someone can use it, but to my knowledge, there's no way to actually light that fire up. So I don't know why it says looks like someone could use it. Yeah, just picking up some treasures. You know, Chris is just, you know, white man coming into Africa and just stealing all their wealth. Oh yeah, this is a chicken. This area is sort of called in game the chicken farm, and you can go here and if the chickens will run around and they'll drop eggs. There's 3 types. Actually, I think there's maybe 4 types. There's rotten eggs, which take health away. Brown eggs that heal a little bit of damage. White eggs which heal about as much as a green herb. And gold eggs, I actually don't know if they're in this game. They're in others that completely heal you up. Yes, I'm just accelerating around to get to this sunken pirate ship. It's not really sunken. It's not really a pirate ship, but I'm going here because I know that there's treasure, as well as a very important item that I'm not actually entirely sure if I ever use because it makes boss battles too easy. There's a glowing case over there, and inside of it is a rocket launcher. Pick it up. Oh yeah! Now, if you had a lot of time on your hands and you wanted to make this game really, really easy upon yourself, what you would do now is, because the way you can farm item pickups really easily, so you would press start, you quit the game out, that would save your progress. then you'd restart the game back up. You'd have the rocket launcher in your inventory, take it out, put it into the storage, go back to that area, pick up the rocket launcher, quit the game, repeat, and keep doing that. Yep, so here's the area we have to get to in order to sort of make a little crest to open that up. Yeah, so that map I just picked up just shows me the positions of where all the other parts of the crest, or slate, I think is what the game actually calls it, are. So there's one in the northeast, one in the east, one in the sort of southwest area. You don't have to pick up that map, but I did just, you know, as sort of a completion type thing. So go to the northwest here because I know there's some more treasure here. Trying to get all this, you know, trying to include this because, you know, I want to sort of use these videos as a way to document the game, at least my experience. If you, yep, there's a BSA emblem out there. I think maybe only the second one I found. Like I said, I'm not going out of my way to find those, but if they're gonna be right in my way, like that one is, then I'll sort of destroy it. Yes, I'm jumping down here because I know affixed to one of the inner walls is that treasure. Oh, and you can, if you're looking closely, it may not, I don't know how easy it's going to be to see on the YouTube video. You can see there are fish moving around in here. And if you kill the fish using your knife, or I guess you could use weapons, they'll float to the surface and you can use them for health. Just another way you can, again, you can sort of, you know, farm health items there. Yeah, so again, you know, this is very much, I think this section of the game sort of very much highlights the how the hell did we get here aspect, because, you know, we started in the little town of Kajuju, and then all of a sudden we're on hydrofoil on, you know, sort of like a lagoon area, and just, you know, in, I don't know, quote unquote, you know, I don't think this is a bad game, but in a quote unquote good game, you know, I think you would actually see your characters traversing the whole environment, whereas here there's a lot of, you know, between the last video and this video, there's a lot of off-screen movement, you know, cutscenes that you don't have any direct control over. For a good example of this, I would recommend, you know, for a good example of this sort of, you know, not necessarily seamless, but more organic movement between areas, I'd recommend the first Resident Evil 4, or the first God of War game. Yes, you see, shiny, shoot the shiny, pick up the shiny. Yeah, I think those two games in particular are very good about, you know, making the player be the one who traverses. See the shiny, shoot the shiny, pick up the shiny. Rinse and repeat. Yes, this is a little, you know, this area is a little, I don't know what you call it, village type area. And you'll notice that there are these huts around with no beds in them, actually, so I'm a little curious, like, how people are supposed to sleep in them, but there's no one around. Keep that in mind because, you know, ostensibly this is a horror game, you know, it has to keep up that appearance. And if you have any experience whatsoever with the horror genre, be it movies, video games, or books, this is a ripe setting for something bad to happen. I'm not going to give what happens away, because it's kind of stupid, but I'll let you know if something is going to happen. And me breaking these things open with nice, not kind of boring gameplay. So here there's these two huts on stilts with sort of assist jump icon, assist jump prompts to get up. Go up the one on the left first, because once you go up the one on the right, and Shiva picks up what's in there, it'll sort of trigger the next thing. The one on the left that I just threw her up into has a treasure. Yeah, so this one, when she jumps up, she's gonna jump up, go to open up another chest, get a crest. And that's going to trigger, yes, this cutscene here. And remember how I said a few videos ago that I don't think this game is racist? That this game wasn't racist for its depiction of, you know, Chris fighting, you know, ostensibly zombies in Africa. This section is a little harder to defend. I think it sort of speaks for itself on that front. And yeah, you could fight those guys, you know, which is not a difficult battle. You can just run past them. Yeah, I don't really know what to think about that. You know, these enemies, you know, stereotypical, I think, you know, African tribesmen. Yeah, I don't know what the correct word to, you know, to describe them is. And I'm not going to attempt to use other words because I don't want to, you know, get into sort of unfortunate implications areas. This is me just trying to figure out how to get into this little sealed off area here. Whoa, what just blew up? Okay, something just blew up, I'm not sure of. But yeah, I'm not, you know, there's sort of explanation documents in game that if you, I don't know if I come across, but I've come across them. I don't know if I come across them in this playthrough, but I come across them before that basically say, you know, that these people they're fighting now are just the regular townsfolk that have sort of, due to the influence of the parasites inside of them, reverted to traditional ways. But even that's kind of a little problematic. Oh yeah, so this area, there are crocodiles, alligators, crocodiles running around. And they're, you know, the game tries to make it out to be, oh god, it's so scary. But if you just run through this little flooded area here, there's no chance they'll ever catch up to you. I don't know why I opened up the menu there. It's just run through this area. Oh, and more problematic depictions of stereotypical African tribesmen. Oh, so some of them, like that guy there, have I don't know if they're clay pots or bags on their head, but basically you can't do a headshot on them. You have to destroy that. So these enemies, you know, even though that one went down pretty easily for me, just shooting in the head, punching it, and stomping its head, are significantly stronger than the earlier sort of standard townsfolk. You know, they just take more damage. Again, even though I'm sort of punching their heads off, so this is not the best description. They take more damage, and as we should get to in just a moment or two, they are much more evasive. They're much more you know, they're more likely to dodge your bullets. They have spears that do more damage. Some of them carry shields, you know, which absorb or take damage for them. I don't know what the right word is. Oh, yep. There's another guy. Bunga bunga bunga, yes. I don't, you know, you sort of get into the hard to defend area. Like, I don't necessarily think the Capcom are racists, but this is, I think, a slightly, if not racist, then at the very least problematic. Oh, yeah, why don't I just take that bullet? Well, why did I just... Oh, because, yeah, so sometimes... Yeah, it wasn't giving me the prompt to just ask for that ammo and just combined it. Just combine it with my one bullet. So instead I had to do that little bit of shuffling to open up a slot. Yeah, so now my inventory is getting a little bit full. So this, you know, if you sort of get into a position like that when you're playing the game yourself, I would recommend getting to a checkpoint, restarting so you can do a bit of inventory swap, and just coming back into the game so you can open up a free space. Because you always want a few free spaces when you're playing the game in your inventory. Yeah, so now we have to go back down. I think I was looking over the railing there to see if there was enemies that spawned. Now we have to go back down, and we have to run past more of the crocs. Except first we have to pick up that jewel, because it's important. Because we can't leave the shinies lying around. So we have to get the shinies. If video games taught me one thing, sort of, you know, besides Italian plumbers, can kill turtles and mushrooms with their sheer body weight. I'm waiting for Sheva. And the red barrels explode. It's that you should always pick up the shiny things. Those are, you know, those are the three things I think that video games have taught me in all my years. Oh, should I give me an egg at one time? Why do I have to, you know, let's, you know, from an in-game perspective, in-game world perspective, why do I have to ask her for the egg? Like, why couldn't she, like, pop the egg in my mouth or something? Also, I think he ate the egg raw. That can't be good. Okay, so I've got 3 of the 4 pieces that I need. Now there's just one left in the left southwest corner. Between each of these quests, you could go back to that door that we found on the west side that's sort of blinking in the top left and put them in. But there's no reason to do that, really. And even though I'm saying that, I think that's exactly what I'm doing right now. Oh no. Yeah, there's no reason to go back in between. Why would you? Because each time you pop in a spot, it gives you a checkpoint, so I guess that's a reason. But besides that. Yes, this is another one of those I have to get in the area type deals. I have to get in this little guarded area. You have to get in this I have to get in this little fort. But I'm having a lot of trouble steering here. Yeah, a lot of trouble. Okay, there we go. This is gonna be actually kind of a confusing area to get through, because you have to. Well, this part isn't, because I'm just going down a straight shot. I'm sort of veering off to the side because I know there's a treasure fixed to a tree somewhere. I just can't remember exactly what tree. This can be a bit of a difficult area because you come in here and it looks like you're. Yeah, you come in here and it looks like you can just go up to the dock there, but you actually have to sort of like go in like a spiral pattern to get in there, which acts as a choke point a bit later. Yes, there's a treasure on that tree, that specific tree. That actually, from where I had the camera positioned, there's no way you could have seen it. But again, I just happened to know it was there because I played the game a few times. I find it interesting that, actually I don't because it makes sense. Oh yeah, so yep, exactly what I'm doing here is I'm emptying off some inventory. So, you know, peeling off some inventory items so we can have some open room in our inventories. Oh yeah, take the grenades, take that, take that, take that. Yep, make sure Sheva has a full sort of extra thing of machine gun ammo. I'm doing all this because I know there's a big fight coming up. What was I saying a moment ago? Can't remember. But yes, without giving the thing away, there's a set piece coming up. Pick up the gold. Yeah, I like how, you know, it's not dollars or it's not, you know, euros or pounds. It's just gold. You know, there's one currency. Man, I'm stuck on that. How could I not trigger that from where I was? Like, I was right up against it. Like, no, I gotta be in the exact right, you know, chest opening position. I don't know if that's bad programming or being very particular. I don't know what the right word is there, but that's interesting. Yep, okay. Wow, those guys got jump height on them. So I think here is going to be demonstrated what I was talking about. Is yep, yeah. So how evasive they can be. If you sort of take more than a few seconds to line up a headshot, they'll do that ducking move. Which can be really annoying. Yeah, this is definitely an instance where the spray of the shotgun comes in handy because it's good at dealing with crowds. Sheva, I didn't need that healing item, darn you. I just had a little bit of damage on me. You didn't have to do that. Because that guy's got a shield. Man, she's just going to town. She's just wasting ammo. That's actually going to be a problem if that's her firing. You know, because she'll just waste. I have to do something about that. I wonder if there's a... I don't think there's a way you can like change your AI tactics in this game. Like, if you ever played Dragon Age, or you know, RPGs in general, you can usually do that. But I doubt there isn't. That's just me sort of demonstrating that. You shoot them in the legs, they'll fall to the ground. Oh, yeah. I think she actually may have hit Chris with that roundhouse. Not entirely sure. Oh, I wonder if when it goes to the animation, I wonder if it's in-game or pre-rendered. Because I think when that happened, they just had their pistols and none of their special weapons, which is sort of the sign that it's a pre-rendered cutscene instead of using the in-game rendering. Yeah, pre-rendered cutscenes are always interesting, especially against gameplay, because it very much takes you out of the moment. You know, especially in a game like this where like your characters wear their weapons on, you know, on their backs. You know, if you go to pre-rendered, then okay, those are not pre-rendered; those are in-game. Yeah, because pre-rendered, you know, I think I've sort of commented on this. The pre-rendered cutscenes in this game look a bit better than the in-game graphics, but it takes, you know, because it's, you know, it can't account for, you know, what you have on your person, you know, what your specific character looks like, then, you know, they have to sort of default to you just have the thinner issue pistols. The only game I've ever played where it's all the cutscene, you know, it sort of accounts for that naturally, where you know, the cutscenes are not pre-rendered that I can think of off the top of my head is Metal Gear Solid 4, where I think all the cutscenes in the game are actually rendered using the in-game engine. So there's sort of seamless transitions where, you know, you'll have, you know, the gun you're wielding in game will be the gun you have in the cutscene. You know, that game is like a camouflage system, so whatever camouflage you have, sort of, when you're playing, will be the camouflage you have in the cutscene. Okay, so now it's the escape time, because if you can sort of hear in the background, there's tense action music, sort of the beginning of it beginning to play. Oh, turbo? I didn't realize I could do that. Oh, actually, yes, I did. That's what I've been doing all the time. I've been jetting around. Oh! Is this going to be kind of frustrating if you don't know what you're doing? Yeah, this is one of the times, and this, I'll actually come back to this a few times throughout the game. This is one of the, I don't necessarily know if it's easier, but this is one of the times when having the AI partner instead of having a co-op partner pays off a bit. Because you're playing with co-op, whatever the AI character is, whether it's Sheva on your first playthrough or Chris on, you know, possible subsequent ones, won't sort of yell at the little piece of advice. But that little piece of advice, you know, slow down, I'll shoot, sort of gives you the idea that you have to wait for her to shoot all the bad guys. And then that door will, I don't know if you call it a door, but that will open. Oh, and this is another cool, you can run these guys down. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Very violent. Again, you know, you don't really realize how violent games are until you watch them being played, but that's one of those. What am I stuck on? What did I hit? I have no idea. Did I like hit that little log off to the side that I completely cleared? I think that's what the game thought I hit. Oh, but yeah, there's a couple points throughout the game, and I think I'll get to next one. Looking at the time, probably not in this video. Probably next video. Another point where it really helps to have the AI partner, because you will not know what to do whatsoever if you don't. Yes, yeah, so I was saying, you don't have to come back in between, but each time you do, it triggers a little checkpoint. If you're speed running it, that's one of the little tricks you pick up. Do not, you know, just whip around the map as fast as you can. So now we're sort of out of Lagoon, and we'll never see that boat again. And, you know, any sort of semblance of originality that little, you know, non-linear sequence had, completely out the window. Now everything's completely linear from here on out. Oh, if I haven't said it, I just demonstrated something that you can do is, instead of sort of doing, you know, manual reload on the guns in-game, you can open up the menu and sort of move the ammo box over the gun, and it'll reload. I hope Chris and Sheva had all their shots, because walking around in this cannot be good for them. Another BSAA emblem. Just happened to know that one was there. Some of them are relatively easy to find, like that one and a couple of the others. I've seen some of them are like, there's one, the last one in the game is like, you would never know it was there. What was that? Oh, there's a guy up there. The last one of those in the game, you would never know. Ooh. Oh, he's got exploding bolts. Did I get him? Yeah, I think I got my round off just as I was hit. Oh, but the last emblem in the game, you would never know it was there. Actually, like the last two in the game, like you had no idea where they are unless you're specifically told where they are. So this is a interesting little piece. So you come into this village area, and it's only once you progress to a certain point. If you notice, just a second ago, by that body inside that little cage area, there was a shiny. We'll get to that in a second. But you can sort of progress to like halfway through this village without triggering the enemies.
Take it.
Okay.
Which you definitely want to make sure you know where you can progress to. I think there's a big house sort of up to the left that you can go up to. Yeah, that you can sort of go with until you attempt to go through those doors that you just saw off to the right, like the big gates. As long as you don't go through those, sort of everything before that you can explore with impunity. But once you do, you'll sort of trigger enemies spawning, which is an interesting thing. You know, I think in games in general, the you know, up until this point is when enemies spawn. 'Cause I think it's one of those things that can sort of take you out a bit. Oh, I just picked up some Magnum ammo. Huh, I haven't seen any Magnums yet. I wonder if I'm going to find one soon. Hint. I think that's a nice little, you know, planting that Magnum ammo there was a nice little way to tell you. You know, sort of you know, show, don't tell. You know, that's one of those. Oh, yeah, I mean to kick that down, actually. Am I going to put it up? No, I'm not. Show, don't tell, you know, that's one of those storytelling things, especially in visual medium. But that's very much the, you know, Show don't tell. Okay, so now that's that little sort of, I think it's kind of obvious, those holes in the ground if you step over them. Oh! Did you just hear that? Yeah, if you hear that, there's a guy, like, I don't know what you'd call that, sort of ulating. Like a war cry. Yep. And the guy's actually, the ulating guy is actually important in a minute. Yeah, because I progressed too far. I went the wrong way. Yes, what I meant to do is I meant to go over here and jump down and go over to this body. I have no idea how that body got there. It's never explained. And pick up the this. I think it's the same gun Dirty Harry uses in the first couple Dirty Harry movies. I have no idea exactly what it is. Oh my God, that guy! Look at how tall that guy is. Like, so like Chris is probably like, I say Chris is probably like 5'10", 6 feet, right? Look at how tall that guy is. Also, look at how long the barrel is on that Magnum. That is insane. This guy's another one. You know, I hesitate to call it mini boss because that sort of implies, you know. I guess you'd call it. Oh, there's 2 of them. Jeez. Yeah, I have no idea. I think these guys are just called masked Magini. I just wasted a precious Magnum round there, and they are precious. And now I'm empty. Oh yeah, little trick here. You can sort of, much like the chainsaw guy a couple episodes ago, I think 2 episodes ago, you can lead these guys. Yep, and that was me right there making use of the invincibility animation. And Chevy got a bigger uppercut. Yeah, so, you know, especially useful on the higher difficulties, veteran or professional. It's relatively easy to lead these masked guys sort of back through the level. Back to the opening and just sort of pick them off as they come by. I just wasted a ton of ammo there. Yeah, and I hesitate to call these guys mini bosses. I would just call them sort of, you know, elite enemies. Yeah. Because much like the big man Magini, they'll come back. As a sort of but also like him, these guys are giving off returns. Do I have anything else to say about these enemies or about the? Oh yeah, the Magnum, at this point, by far, you know, it's one of those things I don't really understand. You know, I'm not really sure how ballistics work, but in video games, traditionally, Magnums are like the most powerful, you know, non-explosive weapon. But, like, a Magnum's a handgun, so it's like, how is a Magnum round, like, more powerful than a rifle round? I'm not entirely sure that's supposed to work. Or like a like, how is a Magnum round, like, more powerful than a shotgun round? Again, you know, I'm no ballistics expert, so there's probably maybe there's a reason, but yeah, the Magnum up to this point is well, I guess you have the rocket launcher at this point, but it's the strongest sort of reloadable weapon you have and you're gonna find. And much like the pistol and the shotgun and the rifle and the machine gun, you can find other Magnums and you can buy them later in the game, but I would just stick to this one, basically as your go-to one throughout your first playthrough, and basically treat it as a, you know, as a boss. Am I a trigger? No, okay, I'm not. Oh, I was a little quick there. But yeah, definitely treat the Magnum as sort of like a boss, or, you know, mini boss slash, you know, elite bad guy killer weapon. More Magnum ammo, because the rounds are very precious, but it does a lot of damage. And it is the weapon that I would most recommend that you sort of stick to if you empty it. You know, basically never reload it unless you really have to, because you can, you're just like all the other weapons in the game. If you, what am I trying to do here? Oh, I'm trying to get shotgun ammo. You know, because if you upgrade its capacity on the merchant screen, you'll fully reload it. And for the Magnum rounds, because of how scarce they are, that's definitely the, you know, 20 or so Magnum rounds, 20 or 30 or 40 Magnum rounds you'll get sort of free. Doing that is more than worth the hassle, maybe sometimes not being able to use the more powerful round. I think there was a ladder there, but, you know, actually I think that ladder was just painted on. Okay, it won't open, it's locked on the other side. Which tells me that I can get back there, or we'll have to split up at some point. I think what we have to do is we have to split up here. But yes, that's all that I have to say about that's all my ramblings on the Magnum.
I'll turn the screen.
Okay, you can do it yourself or command your partner. I would definitely recommend when you're playing by yourself with the AI, always have your partner do there's a couple times where this comes up, but always If you have the option between doing it yourself or having your partner do it, always have the partner do it, because they, you know, the AI, that, you know, which was really good for the time, I think, but in retrospect, it's not that good. The AI cannot really be trusted to do, you know, these complex tasks by itself in a timely fashion. Because what you don't want is this snake in that one. No? Yes. That snake took a long time. I think there's a snake in this one too. Okay, yeah, that was me learning. Okay, why couldn't I just like pick up that egg and just like put it in my mouth and eat it? Like, I have to be stuck to the, you know, because in Resident Evil 4, if you picked up an herb, you could just eat, you know, but your inventory is full, you could still use it.
Okay.
You can still spray it on yourself. Just stop the drag a grab of water. Grab a sip of water.
Roger.
Okay, so the another you know sort of thing that you know I'm sort of at the point where I've been trained by the game to pick up a certain thing. The enemies around music is still playing. I don't know why I just wasted rounds doing that. So I'm still on my guard.
Roger.
Oh, handgun ammo. Okay, what I should have done is I should have reloaded my handgun ammo. Pick up. Yeah, I think I'm sort of figuring that out right there when I paused. I should have reloaded my handgun ammo, picked up the 3 rounds or so I had... you see, because now I could have 50 rounds in reserve instead of just 47. Not a big deal, but... suppose there's like 12 guys around that corner. Yeah, that would kind of suck. I know there's not 12 guys around the corner, but there could. But... so what am I trying to do here? You know, again, like, you're not told what you're supposed to be doing. What you are you're supposed to be making your way through this sort of system of caves and tunnels to get to this gondola, but there's no way that you could ever know that. Like, except for the fact there's a flashing thing on your map. Like, on the one hand, you know, you don't want the game to just tell you, you don't want there to be a big flashing arrow, you know, basically tell you where you want to be, but you do want some context what you're supposed to be doing. And you know, that's I like that Chris stands perfectly like at an angle like that. And that's just an example of the game not giving you any context whatsoever for what you're supposed to be doing, which kind of ticks me off when games do that. It took me 29 minutes to get through. Jeez. It was actually with that opening sequence there, when I was going around to the different little places to pick up the things I needed, it actually seems pretty fast. Yeah, I don't know like how fast it expects me to be. I picked up 7 of those beetles. Wow. But yeah, I mean, not to keep harping on it, you know, comparing, you know, saying this game sucks, but I like this other game better. Because you know, I do like this game quite a bit. I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't. But I think sort of the context for what you're supposed to be doing, context for objective thing, is a thing that Resident Evil 4 does with some, you know, as much success as I think you can get without, you know, just having someone constantly shouting in your ear. You know, go here, go there, do this, you know, which is, you see what, yeah, that's what I'm doing, I'm upgrading the capacity. Yeah, Magnum definitely always upgrade the firepower. Piercing power is just, you know, if there's 2 enemies in a row, can shoot through both of them. Because you don't want it sort of to be, you know, like, say, you know, the Call of Duty or Battlefield games, you know, there's constantly, you know, guys shouting at you to do everything. But on the other hand, you know, you do want some guidance. I just don't know what the right level is. Basically what I'm trying to say is I don't think this game has the right level of guidance, but I don't know what level it should have. Although it is, you know, everything's fairly linear, so it is, you know, it's not exactly rocket science to figure out what you're supposed to be doing. I'm just killing time as we're going, because, you know, I don't really know what to say about, you know, rearranging items and selling off treasures, and, you know, if I wanted just to do a highlights type video of what's going on, I would probably cut these out, this stuff out, where you're moving items, but this is actually, there's some tactics to this, you know, it's okay, I have X number of, you know, X amount of gold to spend, and, you know, all these weapons to upgrade, you know, which is why, you know, it's a limited resources type thing, which is definitely why I would recommend, again, you know, not a phrase I keep using over, especially during your first playthrough, do not, you know, even though you're going to find, you know, more powerful handgun, even though you're going to be able to buy more powerful handguns and find more powerful rifles and shotguns and machine guns during the game, I'd really not recommend, sort of switching at any point. You know, especially you know, unless you haven't put any upgrades in whatsoever. Just because, you know, once you put in, you know, enough upgrades into it, you know, it's like, it's kind of a feel bad type moment. Okay, it's kind of a feel bad type moment of, you know, okay, you know, I've put 10,000 into this, you know, I kind of want to abandon it now, but I'm only going to get, you know, 10% of it on refund. I'm switching to my rifle here, because I know there's a segment coming up where having sniping, a little bit of a drop on it. Yep. As soon as I sort of inch 3 inches down. So I don't, is that guy supposed to be from the BSA, the guy hanging up there, is he supposed to be from the BSAA, or is he just the guy these guys don't like? Again, no context given whatsoever. So it's a little difficult to understand. But yes, have your rifle out here, because if you're quick, even though Sheva's making noise, oh, that guy's got a mask on, so I wasn't able to get him. Yeah, actually, I'm gonna restart here. Because even though Sheva's, you know, making a lot of noise, smashing things, if you're quick enough, you can get the drop on some of these guys and make this fight a bit faster. This is actually, I think, the first of 3 times we're going to do this where I'm going to try to get the drop on guys, and if I mess up, I'm going to restart. I know of 2 other times later in the game where I'm probably going to sort of demonstrate to you a quick way, you know. Actually, the 3rd time is you definitely, you know, if you screw up, you know, you're going to want to restart, because the firefight that sort of results from you screwing up is not fun to go through. Sheva, I'm trying to be stealthy here. She just started shooting. I was able to get that off, which really ticked me off. And now I'm desperately trying to, you know, salvage anything I can out of this. Looking for time. Oh, actually, I'm nearly... I'm, got, looks like 8 or 9 minutes left. Is that guy done? No, okay. Well, that's right, they dissolve when they're dead, so if the body's still around, that means they're still alive. Okay, I was trying to get a lead on that guy's head there, but then he started running. See him like that? Yep, okay, he dissolved. Yeah, I think once you know, start fighting the, not zombies, infected with high-powered rifles and machine guns and shotguns, a lot of the tension, you know, that, you know, because horror is very much about, you know, pitting you against, you know, the unknown and making you feel powerless. I think, you know, that's what good horror is, especially in terms of the zombie Resident Evil genre. Yeah, that guy just mutated. Yeah, and there's one of those things we haven't seen in a while. I miss those things. But yeah, once you start fighting these guys with, you know, high-powered rifles and shot. Oh! He just impaled me. Like, you saw that. You guys saw that too, right? Like, I actually had the spikes that, like, coming out of my back, but I'm still fine. Oh yeah, once you start, you know, shotguns and machine guns, like, it's just not scary anymore, right? It's tense, you know, because enemies can do a lot of damage to you. You may not have a lot of ammunition, but it's not scary. You know, also, you know, you're in this wide open environment. Okay, the music's still playing. Okay, now no, it's still playing. Does that mean there's enemies around, or there's still? Yep, there's at least one. One with the bag over his head. He just fell into the water. Oh! And the croc just got him. I think they're crocodiles. Big mistake on that. If any biologists are watching, you know, or any scientists in general. If any scientist, you know, if like a chemist, you know, biologist, like, if a doctor is watching this, it's like, it's gonna be funny, because like, that's not how the human body works at all. Like, why? I would be afraid of living in a world where there's a virus that you can get that can, like when you die, cause, like, a flying, like, pterodactyl thing to, like, pop out of your back. That'd be scary as hell. Is I being shot at, or is he flinging those things at me? That's a nice reloading animation there on Sheva's machine gun, sort of out of the corner of my out of scope. Okay, so quick cutscene told me. Okay, you see, this is the type of thing that context I was asking for a minute ago. I'm supposed to go through there, but you can just see that asshole down there. Oops, sorry, kids, bad language. Oh, this is our M-rated video game, so I don't know what kids are watching this. Yeah, that guy just kicked the button that closed the door and raised the ledge, so I have to kill these enemies and get over there. But, as we'll see in a moment, that makes it a bit easier said than done. Is there a guy behind me? Is that... Oh, actually, this is a fun... Am I about to demonstrate it right here? Okay, I'm not, because Shovel was a little overload. But I haven't shown it, and I actually don't think I do in the rest of the video. But this is an interesting area because you can sort of, if you shoot the guys where they're hopping between those platforms out there, they'll just sort of their inertia will cause them just to fall
Roger, get
into
on
the
the
water.
raft, and I'll turn the crank.
Okay, yep. So what happens? You see up at the very top of the screen there in that little cutscene. There's a, I have to jump. All right, because the door is. That's right, because the door is barricaded. So I have to get on that platform, and Shovel will sort of turn the crank, and then I'll get me to where that button that the guy kicked is, and then I'll lower the bridge so I can go through the doors there.
I'll handle it. Be careful on that thing.
It's just a raft. What do I have to be careful of? There's nothing that could, Scary music started playing. Why did the button problems? Oh my! Oh right, the crocodile. Oh my god. That's a nice animation on the rope moving. I'm being serious with that. That's actually, I think a game that didn't pay as much attention to the visuals, that'd be something that they'd miss. Although now we're sort of at the point where it's like bigger budget games where it's like, by default the game just looks really beautiful, like really pretty beautiful. Like I'm thinking of, Shadows of Mordor, Alien Isolation, Dragon Age, Inquisition, Far Cry 4. Those are just games from last year, 2014. I was like, I don't know what to say with the visuals besides like, well actually because those games are really good visual design. But just in terms of like the quality of the graphics, like they look good. They have interesting. Those games all have interesting visual design, but like there's like nothing about they don't have like low polygon counts or anything. I think we may have sort of started to reach the point in video games, and maybe in CGI in general, where like that's just, you only begin to notice when things look bad. You don't really ever, maybe it was, James Cameron's Avatar, where, that was sort of, okay, now everything's just gonna look good. I don't know why I'm talking about, James Cameron Avatar when I'm playing freaking Resident Evil 5. But maybe that should tell you something about, how boring this game can be. It's like, there's not a lot going on. Okay, so what here is I'm going through this tunnel, and again, I just happen to know that each of these or each of the first two of these lanterns have pickups in them. Oh, there's just two. Yeah. You see, this is one of those atmospheric things I was talking about. It's like, this is good if the game's trying to create like an atmosphere to like scare you. Like, that's why like I think sort of segments like these are holdover. Because on the one hand you want, peaks and valleys.
BSAA. What are they doing here?
I think this is Tricell's first mention in the game. They're a company that just gets introduced about halfway through this game, and is all of a sudden a really important plot element that hasn't been talked about whatsoever. And yes, that happened in the first Resident Evil game. Umbrella got like introduced like halfway through the game. You'd never heard of them before. The BSAA emblem. Happen to know where it was. Actually, I think I may have just turned the camera a bit there to see if there's anything down there. And it's like, oh right, that's there.
Roger.
Yeah, I mean, Umbrella was introduced halfway through the first Resident Evil game. But, not to say video games have come so far, but that was in 1996. This is basically what I'm saying is I'm a little surprised this game is still operating at the story level where, actually I'm not that surprised because this Tricell's not the first time that happened in this game, where elements are just introduced, basically out of nowhere, and you're expected to know a lot about them, and like, oh, Tricell, oh my god, like that's supposed to be like a big plot twist, it feels like. Like, that's, sort of the way Sheva said that, and like, the sting of the music, but like, you have no idea what Tricell is, so like, why is that supposed to be surprising? And with that, dear viewer, we are nearing, as we approach the oil field. How do you know that Irving hasn't already gotten away? Like, you guys are taking a hydrofoil. Maybe he had, like, a speedboat. Like, maybe he's, like, already on a plane somewhere. And with that, we have reached the end.